Hey gang, it's me, Uncle Todd here. About to go over the second episode of Stranger Things. I was thinking of doing 2 episodes at a time, but this episode happens to be an hour and 20 minutes too, so that's almost feature length. So we'll just go with one for now, and I will try to be quicker between looks at episodes. Since the whole thing's ready to be streamed. Anyways, in the second episode, Mike arrives in California to see Elle, and she takes him to a roller rink where, if you're an 80s kid, this will be very familiar. Bring back some memories, roller skating to the top pop 40 at the time. And although she'd been telling Mike a lot of white lies about how popular she is and the friends she has and how great everything is, he unfortunately gets to see firsthand her bullying, which leads to Elle actually physically striking her bully. And it is pretty nasty. Very emotional section there. We also learn why Will's brother is not going to be with Nancy at this time. It's because he's gotten into a different university than her and he doesn't know how to tell her. And he knows she has a specific plan for life and he doesn't want to screw that up by her sacrificing that just to be with him. Also in California, we of course have the mom and Murray, and they're looking at the message they received, and it contains a phone number. So Murray hooks up all this weird gadgetry, 80s stuff, to ping their calling address to a different state. And they call the number, and a man answers, who tells him for $40,000 he can give them Hopper. Listening to some of the background voices and noise, because they record the call, they figure out it is Russia, and that the man who called them is probably a prison guard. Now, at the beginning of the episode, we saw how Hopper actually survived and ended up in Russia from the explosion last season. And he is basically being tortured. And when he has no information he will give up, they send him to a gulag, and where apparently he's going to be even tortured even worse. That takes us back to the original town, where Nancy and a coworker named Fred at the school paper, they go to investigate the murder of the cheerleader. And in doing so, she kind of scams her way into the crime scene. And in talking to Eddie's uncle, who doesn't believe Eddie did it, he mentions a serial killer that was around when he was a kid. And he thinks that this serial killer escaped from the asylum where they sent him. Although at this point, considering the man's age, the serial killer would be in his 70s. But he does kind of refer back to him as like being like Michael Myers. So, who knows? This may be a connection to the monster, maybe a connection to the psychotic little boy at the beginning of the first episode. We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, the police, who have questioned the basketball team because she was a cheerleader and she had a boyfriend, and they want to know if the boyfriend had anything to do with it. And they let slip that they're about Eddie Munson being a person of interest. Well, this fires up the basketball captain, who believes Eddie is a Satanist and sacrificed his girlfriend, and they're going to go hunt him down. And so they all head out in a big angry mob, except of course for Lamar, because he's still friends with the guys, and he doesn't think Eddie had anything to do with this. Which leads us to Max, who goes to see Dustin. And she tells him what he saw. He doesn't think Eddie did. He doesn't think he's the kind of person that could do it. And she is reluctant to agree with that. But because they are short-handed, they go to the video rental store to see Steve and Robin. They explain everything to them. And using, in a very funny sequence, they use the renters list to figure out who the drug dealer is that Eddie would have gone to because they were friends, and it's the only person he would trust right now. The big clue to who it is? Cheech and Chong movies. So they head out there, and they eventually find Eddie hiding in a building out back of the property. And he tells them what he saw, thinking that they're not really going to believe him anyways. But he does it because they assured him they would believe him. Dustin then explains about the underneath and how this could be connected to that. And he gives a name to the monster, the Vecna, a spellcaster sorcerer of immense evil. And then at the end of the episode, Fred is lured into the woods. Nancy's looking for him, but he is under the spell of the Vecna and is reliving a horrible experience in which he didn't help someone in a car crash. And that person died. And he's felt guilt about it. And then the Vecna kills him. And we see his lair, which is a large haunted house with a lot of bats and things flying out of it. So, looking forward to seeing how that shows gets expanded out. You get to learn more about it. Pretty good episode. You really feel a lot for Millie Bobby Brown's character, as she is just remorselessly bullied. And then in a fit of anger, she strikes out and hits her tormentor in the face with a skate and smashes her nose. And it is and then of course she cries afterwards because, all that pent up emotion. It's very well played, and it is a gut-wrenching scene. And Fred's death is as gruesome as the cheerleaders, and it is just heartbreaking because he seemed like a pretty nice guy. A little nerdy, but so be it. Well, that's about all of what happened in the episode. I thought it was a follow-up. It's really good. Looking forward to the third. And wondering if the mom and Murray are actually going to go to Russia and try and save Hopper. Well, until the next episode, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe.